Okay, you guys, real quick before the video does start, I want to give a shout out to the Benchwarmers. They have been a pretty big supporter of my channel, and I wanted to pay back the favor. Recently, they have not been growing too much, so I wanted to shout them out, so make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. The link to their channel will be in the description below. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. The New England Patriots had a pretty disappointing season, as they signed former MVP Cam Newton pretty late into the offseason. And people thought, hey, he might be able to lead them to a really, good season. And for the first few weeks, it looked like that. So much so that I even made a video on it. But then...
Hey y'all, come look at this.
Anyways, today I wanted to talk about what's next for the Patriots and what I would do, especially as a Patriots fan, to improve this team and have success in the future. Before we do get started though, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button as it really helps out the channel and it shows your support for this content. Subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy the videos on here so you don't miss out on any new videos, and we are also on the road to 500 subscribers. And as a special, once we hit 500, I will react to my first 2 videos ever. So if you guys want to see that and enjoy the content on here, make sure to subscribe. But with that being said, let's get this video started. And I want to start out by talking about the roster. And let's start out by talking about Cam Newton. Now, Cam Newton, to me, is a really weird player. He did not play well, and he only had 2,657 passing yards and completed he did complete 66% of his passes, but he only threw 8 passing touchdowns and threw 10 interceptions. I mean, Cam Newton, to me, he's a really weird player because while he did not play well, at the same time, the virus might have affected him, and the weapons were not that good, and the play calling was also pretty suspect. His future with the Patriots, to me, is pretty uncertain, and of course, more on that later, but, I mean, Cam Newton, I guess I'll say I think he's an okay player, but, who knows what his future with the Patriots really is. Damien Harris is the next player I want to talk about, and Damien Harris, in the games in which he did play, was a very, very solid player, as in 10 games, he had 691 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and averaged 5 yards a carry. Next year, I think if he gets a lot of opportunity and plays a majority of the games and is starting, I think he could be really good in 2021. Sony Michel is the next player I want to talk about. In this past year, he did struggle with injury, but even then, he's still a really productive player when he's on the field and is healthy. In this past season, he had 449 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and averaged 6 yards a carry. Julian Edelman is the next player I want to talk about, and Julian Edelman did not stay on the field that long this year, or really wasn't on the field that much this year. You know what I mean. He struggled to stay healthy, as the guy did not play a lot this year, and there is a chance that he does get traded, but when he is healthy, he's a pretty good player. In this past season, in which the games he did play, he had 315 receiving yards and caught just 54% of his targets. Jakobi Meyers is the next player I want to talk about. Jakobi Meyers, well, he was really good for the Patriots in the opportunity in which he got, and next year I really want to see the guy start or get more opportunity, as in the games in which he did play, he had 729 receiving yards and caught 73% of his targets. I really hope Jakobi Meyers does get more opportunity next year, and I really like him, and I think he can do some great things next year. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, I want to talk about Adam Butler. Adam Butler is a pretty solid player, as the guy is a pretty decent pass rusher, along with being a really good run stopper. In this past season, he had 4 sacks and 15 pressures. Chase Winovich is the next player I want to talk about, and Chase Winovich, well, he is a really solid pass rusher and a pretty good run stopper, as he had 5.5 sacks, along with 37 pressures this past season. Dante Hightower is the next player I want to talk about. Now, he did not play this past year, as he did opt out of the season due to the virus, the reasons related to the virus. However, when he is on the field, he is a pretty good player. Now, there is a chance that he is cut, more on that later, but he's still a pretty good player. Stephon Gilmore is the next player I want to talk about. And while he sure wasn't as good as 2019 Gilmore, and we can't expect that type of production, year after year after year, because, it's just unrealistic for someone to play that good for like 5 years and all. He's still one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Now, he did only play 11 games, and he did just have 1 interception and 3 passes defended because of that, and he also doesn't get targeted a lot. Well, he's still a really good player. Not much else I really have to say for Stephon, besides the fact there is a chance he gets traded. More on that later. JC Jackson is the next player I want to talk about. And JC, he had an amazing year. How else do I put it? He was second in the league when it came to interceptions, and he had 9 interceptions and 14 passes defended. And all I can say is, he is amazing and will be an absolutely amazing, he's just going to be a great player for this team. Devin McCourty is the next player I want to talk about. And Devin McCourty, he is a pretty solid player. And while he is aging, he's still pretty good, as this past year, he did have 2 interceptions along with 6 passes defended. Adrian Phillips is the next player I want to talk about. He's a pretty decent player who can stop the run and is a pretty good when it comes to defending the pass. He had 2 interceptions and 4 passes defended this past year. And Patrick Chung is the final player I want to talk about. There is a chance he does get traded, or who knows about his future with the Patriots, as the guy is aging, but he is really good on the field, and he did opt out of the season due to reasons related to the virus, but he's a pretty good player. And that is all I will say about the Patriots roster, and I could talk about numerous guys since, I'm a Patriots fan, and there's quite a bit of guys I'd really like to talk about, but I want to do my best to make this video not too long. But anyways, the Patriots, they will be a really interesting team in the offseason, this year. And obviously as a Patriots fan, I am really excited to see what we can do in the offseason, as to me, they are a pretty interesting team, as I said before. They will have $68 million in cap space, and they will have to be really aggressive in free agency, as, well, they will have a lot of, not only that, but they'll have a lot of questions to answer. First off, they gotta find out who their quarterback of the future is going to be. And there have been quite a bit of rumors flying around. Guys like Jimmy Garoppolo have been involved in rumors, Deshaun Watson too. Who knows? But me personally, I think the options that, are on the table are either get an established guy like a Jimmy Garoppolo, bring back Cam Newton and maybe give him another chance, trade for Deshaun Watson, or take someone in the draft. And personally, I would like to see them take a guy in the draft. Maybe bring a more established guy. I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo. I can't name someone off the top of my head right now, but maybe bring in someone more established and possibly trade for Deshaun Watson. And the reason why I am kind of doubtful about trading for Deshaun Watson, and really addressing that really quickly, well, the thing is, while he is good, you'll have to give up a lot for him, and that could hurt when it comes to bringing back important free agents and improving the team, since they really need to improve the weapon situation, on there, since even if you trade for Deshaun Watson, if you can't get good weapons, what was the point? And next up, they also got to decide whether they will trade Stephon Gilmore, as I alluded to earlier. Now, the guy is aging, and he will be a free agent next year. And even though he is great, as I said before, the guy does have some things that can make, the Patriots want to trade him. And there were trade rumors before the season, and trade rumors involving him before the deadline. And as for what I would do, well, I might actually trade Stephon. As well, he is a fantastic player, he is aging, as I said before, plus you could get some really good value out of him. And while I would be sad since I really like him, I could definitely see the Patriots trading him. And personally, I would not be opposed to trading him if it was for the right reason, and if you could get some good, a good package out of him. Now, there will be a lot of teams that could really want to trade for Stephon Gilmore, and some teams I thought may want him would be the Cleveland Browns, the Tennessee Titans, the San Francisco 49ers, and maybe the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe, but the Browns, Titans, and 49ers are 3 teams that I'm sure really might want Stephon Gilmore. They also could trade Julian Edelman, as I said before, as the guy is aging, plus he does have health issues, but when he is on the field, he is pretty good. And Julian Edelman, compared to Stephon Gilmore, will not have as many suitors, but I do think the Green Bay Packers are a team that might want Julian Edelman, as the guy is a really good slot receiver, and the Packers, outside of Devontae Adams, I will be real, they could use another consistent pass catchers. I mean, they got solid guys around, but I mean, outside of Devontae Adams, they could use, another star level guy. Maybe the Packers do trade for Julian Edelman. I mean, who knows what his future will be with the Patriots. I also do think they could try and be aggressive when it comes to trading for guys, and that could mean trading for someone like Odell Beckham Jr. if he is available. I think he would be really good for this team, as when he's healthy, he is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, who adds a lot of explosiveness, and this team really does need some explosiveness, and he would not be a bad option, especially if they strike out on, wide receiver free agents. Of course, we will get there soon, but Odell Beckham would not be a bad option. And as I said before, they might cut some guys. Dante Hightower could be someone they cut, and so could Marcus Cannon, as while they are pretty good players, well, they are aging. Maybe Bill Belichick wants to get younger and wants to clear up cap space, and honestly, I would not be opposed to those moves if you can find suitable replacements. And while I would be sad, if you can find suitable replacements and use that cap space well, then I would not be too, mad at that move. Now, they will have important guys to bring back in free agency. David Andrews, Adam Butler, Joe Thuney, James White, Rex Burkhead, and Cam Newton will all be free agents. I think they should definitely bring back David Andrews, as he is a very good center, and the team just plays different without him. Adam Butler, Joe Thuney, I'd definitely like to bring back, but I'm sure they can definitely find a good replacement for him if he does leave. While it wouldn't be awesome, they can definitely find the replacement for him. James White, I would really like to, I'd be cool with bringing him back. He's a really solid player, and the guy's a god in Super Bowls, and James White's a really good veteran leader, and I'm sure he wants to return too, as the guy seems to really like it. And maybe Cam Newton. Cam Newton, I could see them bringing him back if they want to have a really good backup quarterback, since as a backup, I think he would be really good. Plus, if they feel like, hey, maybe let's give him another chance, then they could also bring back Cam. Plus, I'm sure the team, it's clear the team likes him. Now, I also do think here are my free agent targets that I would target outside of bringing back guys back. And that includes Marvin Jones, Kenny Golladay, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, who, I don't know if he does come, but, it's worth a shot, trying to get him. Curtis Samuel, Corey Davis, T.Y. Hilton, Juju Smith-Schuster, funny enough, Nelson Aguilar, who, before you guys clown me for that, he had a really good year, Will Fuller, and Kendrick Bourne would all be pretty good when it comes to, helping the wide receiver core. And I do think they can definitely get one of those guys, and I would really like to see them get at least one of these guys. And to help the tight end position, Hunter Henry and Jared Cook would not be bad options at all. And I also do think they should spend a little bit on the defensive side of the ball, as the pass rush in front seven could really improve. And Leonard Williams would not be a bad option. Jadeveon Clowney could be a pretty decent option, as he is a really good run stopper. Now, be careful about how much money you give him. Justin Houston would also be pretty decent. So would Leonard Floyd and Bud Dupree, plus Hassan Reddick. Now, Leonard Floyd and Bud Dupree, I just tossed that out there. I thought they could maybe get him, but I don't know if they do. It's possible. And I also do think they should definitely try and target a cornerback if they do end up trading Stephon Gilmore. And Xavier Rhodes, William Jackson, and Mike Hilton could all be some good replacements if Stephon Gilmore is traded, as JC Jackson is good, except they will have to put another good cornerback next to him. And they will not get all of those guys, but those are definitely some guys I'd really like to see them go after. And they will also have the 15th pick in this year's draft. And if they do keep it, I do think they should try and target a wide receiver, tight end, or a quarterback, maybe a defensive player in this year's draft. And with that 15th pick, they can select someone like Kyle Pitts, or Jalen Waddle, or Jeremiah Owusu-Koroma. Now, they could also trade up for Trey Lance, which I would not be opposed to at all, or they could draft Mac Jones a little bit later into the draft. JC Horn, maybe they select him if they've improved the offense enough, and if they want to take someone later in the draft that could be pretty good for them, Rashad Bateman, Rondale Moore, and Amon-Ra St. Brown would not be bad for them at all. But that will kind of wrap up today's video. I do think the Patriots should be aggressive in free agency, and if they can improve the roster, they could be pretty scary in 2020. But with that being said, that will be the end of today's video. Sorry if this was a long one. As a Patriots fan, I had a lot of things to say, but you guys know what to do. Make sure you hit that like button if you guys enjoyed, as it really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you guys are new and enjoy the content on here so you don't miss out on any new videos. We are also on the road to 500 subscribers, and once we hit 500, I will react to my first 2 videos ever as a special. So if you guys want to see that and enjoy the content on here, make sure to subscribe. But with that being said, I'm out, you guys.